Hello, all you out there in YouTube land. This is Transato10, and I am back with a Batman the Animated Series review as promised. Now, a lot of you people have been speculating it's Combat Belt Batman, but, well, you're wrong. Because this one, released in the same wave, is Turbojet Batman. With firing wrist rocket and pivoting engines. This guy... This is one of my favorite Batman figures. A friend of mine had it. It was one that I've always wanted but could never procure until my adulthood. And here it is. Turbojet Batman. With his soft goods cloth cape. His straps, which would, I guess, be strapped to his... his little rocket pack here with, the little pivoting engines. And it does have this little Rocketeer-esque Flash Gordon bubble dome with a scalloping bat. I guess you could say this was more of a directional, keeps him straight. Watch the movie The Rocketeer and you'll get exactly what I'm talking about. And his wrist rocket with, depending on which version you buy, there are two different color missiles. One of them was gray, I think it was gray to match the rocket, but I like yellow because it shows yellow on the card, so therefore I wanted yellow. Batman itself is in a very, very dark blue sculpted plastic. It's not gray, it's more of a blue, but it looks more gray. It's got an altered cowl. I'm guessing these are, altered suit with straps all around, like I said before, possibly as a harness for the backpack, but of course we've got the C-clamp for the action figure, so kind of, this is more or less for, display. Got the little oval bat signal. I especially love the belt. It's not just a clasp, it's like it's got buttons. Or switches or dials. And I'm guessing these were supposed to be painted silver as well, but they're not on the boots. These little guards. Because after all, you may hit the top of a building or a tower or something, and then you may break your shins, so must have the guards. And I'm guessing this is supposed to be painted silver on the gloves as well. And for something really rare, and of course it tells us it's 1990s, it is painted in the back. Usually, nowadays, they'll leave it not painted, because they're cheapos like that, trying to save money. And of course, it's got a very accurate face sculpt for the animated series. The paint is so-so just because it is Kenner. Although the paint apps for Kenner figures are much more than Hasbro figures, there are some bleeding, especially around the flesh tones into the cape and the eyes as well. Sometimes the eyes are cracked a bit where the paint is starting to age. And what we do is we take the little C-clamp and we paste it on Batman's back like so. We pivot the engines a little bit. I'm guessing there was supposed to be a bat signal there, but there's not. And pivot the engines to make it look like he's flying. Bubble dome over for safety, so that way you don't get no bugs in his mouth. And here we have Turbojet Batman with his wrist firing rocket. And I must say that the backpack is really heavy, so you would have to display him with the missile, or else he is not going to stand up. It does leave a little bit more to be desired, just because everything is so freaking big compared to, the card art. where the wrist rocket is a little bit smaller. Rocket's still a little bit big. But after all, this is a very nice figure, and one that represents the animated series extremely well. This is probably my favorite Batman variant of the 1990s animated series line, if not my favorite Batman variant of all time, just because it represents the source material so well. The 1990s animated series was supposed to represent the World's Fair if it had never ended, if the World's Fair really was constructed into Gotham City. So everything has like that Art Deco 1930s feel to it, and I just love it. I just love how the Bubble Dome represents Flash Gordon adventure serials. I love the wrist rocket. It looks like a futuristic rocket launcher, at least futuristic for the 1930s, and of course it does really launch. Man, that launches far. I also love that, you know, you have the little pivoting engines, so Batman can go up, he can go forward if he wants. I guess he can go back if he wants to, if the arms weren't in the way. But this is just a fantastic Batman action figure, and along with the Superpowers Batman figure, the Crime Attack Batman figure, the Combat Belt Batman action figure, you know, going on and on and on, this could very well be classified as one of the top 5 Batman action figures of all time. It is definitely in my top 5. And if you can find one, he's not really cheap. I got him a couple of years ago for $10, but that was during the Batman movie craze of The Dark Knight, where everyone was selling Batman action figures. So he may not be as cheap as he was then, but I would really want for every one of you who loves Batman, who loves the animated series, that doesn't already have this figure, to go out and get it. It does have standard articulation like Batman the Animated Series figures. It may be a little blocky. I mean, a little big and gawky, but it is the 1990s, and it is supposed to represent the 1930s, and it does so extremely well. And I'm just ranting on and on because I just love this figure so much. This is Trans801L, signing off.